All right, all right, all right, all right. And here we are. Do you guys miss me? I miss you guys. Oh shit, hold on a second. That shouldn't be going up. There we go. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going to have an interesting show tonight. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, obviously, because I haven't been live for the last couple of weeks. And to address that, just real quick, June historically is a very, very busy month for me, not only with everything that's going on in the political world, but just personally. I have many of you may not believe this, but I have a life outside of a microphone and a camera. I have a family that loves me and adores me. I have 4 children that love me and adore me. I have a wife that loves me and adores me. So when June comes, it's kind of a bundle of things happening all at once in regards to my family. First of all 4 kids, 2 in Pennsylvania and 2 in Arizona, get out of school. And during school, it's hard for those kids to see each other because they're 2,000 miles away and they don't necessarily have an opportunity to see each other except a couple times during breaks. So we get them together and we do a lot of stuff with them. And that requires a lot of travel, a lot of coordination, and a lot of time, of course. So that's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is we generally go away somewhere with the kids, and we have a kid vacation, so to speak. And this year was a Disney cruise. And I know that, Disney's not my favorite company in the world because they own everything. But the reality of it is, our kids had the time of their lives. And of course, we were very careful with everything that we did, and we took certain precautions. But they loved it. And, I think that we really created so many good memories for them in their childhood that I wouldn't trade that from the world. Would I ever support Disney by myself, if it weren't for my children's sake? No, but I'm not going to get my kids involved in a cabal dilemma, so to speak. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to let them enjoy their childhood. And as they get older, I'll tell them what needs to be told and let them decide for themselves, and steer them in the right direction if at all possible. And then, of course, after that, well, before that, even, it was my anniversary. Our anniversary, Carrie and I, where our first year anniversary was June 4th. So between the anniversary, the kids getting out of school, getting the kids together, taking the kids away on vacation with each other, and then it's my birthday. The 3rd week of June is my birthday. So it was just constant. It was constant everything. And it was really hard not only to do live streams, obviously, because I only had 1 or 2 in June, but it was also hard because it was hard for me to post like on Telegram regularly. The places that we were in Jamaica, we were in the Bahamas, in the middle of the Atlantic, in the middle of the Caribbean Sea on the boat at times. Very spotty in terms of reception and stuff. So I apologize for the last 30-ish days. June is, if you look at last year, if you go back and look at my live schedules from last year, I didn't do a lot of lives last year either in June for just about the same reason. We had the wedding in the beginning of June, honeymoon after that, birthday after that, kids after that. So it's been tough. I hope you guys can understand that and realize that I am still a human being and I do need time for my family. Now, with that said, July is gearing up to be a phenomenal month for us. And we're going to talk about that tonight. That's going to be the main focus of tonight's show. I know a lot of things have happened since I was last live, one of them being the debate with Donald Trump and the fake Joe Biden. We're going to talk about that. In addition to that, the Supreme Court announcement on Trump's immunity case was released today. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And we're going to talk about some other things that we should be looking for going forward and how it's going to affect us in the timeline that is upon us now. I mean, if you look, I referenced this a couple months ago or a few months ago. Everybody was so crushed when Trump left office in January of 2021. And by the time April 2021 rolled around, we were saying, oh, there's no way we could, how is this happening? Like, what's going on? Where is he? Why is this happening? What's going on? We'll never make it 4 years. Even Trump had video out saying, oh, we can't give this guy another 3.5 years. Look at what he's done just in the first few months. Trump was saying that stuff. So he really got us, meaning Trump, he really got us to buy into the fact that Biden should not have that many years in office because of the thing, not only with election fraud, but the things that he had already done while in office. His first 17 executive orders were within the first 48 hours of his presidency. And they basically destroyed everything Trump had done. We all remember that. So what I'm getting at is we didn't know how bad it could get back then. We kept saying, there's no way we could take this for 4 years. There's no way we could take 6 more months of this. There's no way we could take 3. Guys, look at the calendar. It's July 1st of 2024. There is going to be resolution to this mess. It's upon us. It's right upon us. It's right in front of us. And there's nothing anyone could do about that. Now, the only question, I guess, that remains is, well, which way is this going to go? How is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Why is it going to happen that way? Why isn't it happening a different way? Why hasn't it happened yet? Those are all the questions that still linger around everyone's mind, even though we're confident we're starting to see things turn in the direction that we've wanted them to turn. There's still all of those lingering anxiety-ridden areas of turmoil that we haven't yet addressed. And July is going to be the month for that. So I wanted to come on July 1st. I'm going to have several lives over the next couple weeks. The next one is probably going to be Saturday of this week. Let me look at the calendar real quick. Hold on. Yeah, so the 4th is Thursday, 5th is Friday. I'm not sure yet, but either Friday or Saturday of this week will be my next live stream. After that, the following week, it's probably looking like Monday, Wednesday of that week. There's a reason why I'm doing so many in this short period. Hold on, Carrie's texting me. She says Friday. So Friday is probably going to be a better day. I don't know why it's a better day, but she thinks it is. So that's probably going to be the next live stream. It'll be right here from Havasu. We have a whole bunch of family here for the 4th of July. We do a big thing. The kids are all together. All four of our kids are together. So once the 4th winds down, I think Friday or Saturday will be a better day. According to Carrie, Friday is the better day. So, so before we get started into the good stuff, why don't you guys tell me where you're from so I could get this show on the road here. Suisun City, California. That's a new one. Borg, Louisiana. Okay, that's a new one. Pengrove, California. East Tennessee, Guntsville, Alabama, Bahamas, Jamestown, New York, Goldendale, Washington. I missed it. I'm sorry. Jefferson, Georgia, Bangkok, Maine. Is that Bangkok, Maine? I got to slow this down. Denmark, holy moly. Denmark, Las Vegas. Ay. There we are. Orlando, Florida, Drums, Pennsylvania, not far from me. There's another Denmark, Canada, Dublin, Virginia, Buckeye, Philizona. Love it. I have an LLC called Philizona. Pretty cool. Denver, Colorado, Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Elkhart, Indiana, Bristol, New Hampshire, another Denmark, different person, New Holland, Pennsylvania, Findlay, Ohio, Vandergrift, that's the place I should be from. Maybe I am, who knows. Connecticut, Gwynn, Michigan, Waldorf, Maryland, Ball Ground, Georgia, Coos Bay, Oregon, Racine, Wisconsin, Newport Richey, Florida, Hollow Rock, Tennessee, Zor. Sounds like a evil villain from a superhero thing. I don't know. State College, Pennsylvania, home of the Nittany Lions. A couple more. New Zealand, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Riverton, Kansas, Kalamazoo. I think Derek Jeter was from there, really? Israel, cool. Global audience. We always have that global audience. I love it. I'm very proud of my global audience. I'm very proud that we have reach all the way across the world when it comes to our audience. I think that's important for a couple of reasons, because the issues that are happening and have been happening for the last several years, and even beyond that for the last several decades, stretch worldwide. The consequences of the rulers of our world are not just in the United States. That's why you see so many people from all of these different countries and all of these different areas of flat earth watching me, because they are also concerned about the same things we're concerned about. And in many ways, what happens with Donald Trump happens around the world. It affects things around the world. Even though he's not the president there, what he does and what his policies are and how he conducts his dismantling of the deep state and the cabal networks, so to speak, in particular the central banking system, affects everybody worldwide. So it's not just us Americans, and that's why I'm happy and proud to have the amount of, there's one from Poland right there. Yeah, so I'm really happy to have that global audience and to try to keep people in the know with this show. Obviously, Jeter is from Kalamazoo Central. I pitched against him in high school. Well, you didn't tell us what the outcome of that at bat was, did you? I bet you it wasn't anything great for you. That is awesome that you pitched against him, though. I pitched against Todd Frazier. He's a former Yankee. I think he started with St. Louis Cardinals. He's from New Jersey, and I was in baseball tournaments all up and down the East Coast when I was younger. So, yeah, I pitched against him. Struck him out, but I think he was hungover or something. He wasn't, so he didn't want to bat. But I did strike him out. So, Japan, another one from Japan. So I'm told that we broke a record at goldquiz.com with IRA and 401k rollovers. And that doesn't surprise me, because you guys have seen what has happened with the price of metals. We got up around that $34, $35 for spot price for a little while there. And then it trampled back down to that $30, $29, $30 range, which is where we're at right now. The last I checked today, there's huge panic going on with the metals industry right now. And not the metals industry. The metals industry is safe and always has been safe, but the evil forces that are suppressing the value, particularly of silver, are in a deep, 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 deep spiral. Jeter only struck out once in high school, and it wasn't from me. Okay, good answer. That's awesome they got to pitch against him, though. It's really, really cool. Congratulations. This $29, $30 spot price window that's kind of stuck right now, that is not good for the cabal. It's not good for the banking industry. That happened within like a 1 week period where it just kind of went, it was like 30, and then it's just kind of went up a little, down a little, up a little, down, just like it always does, right? But they are losing tons and tons and tons of money. I'm talking huge, enormous, billions and billions of dollars of money for every day that that price stays there. And I'll tell you guys what, if you've ever asked the question, well, what do I do to help? How do I get rid of the cabal? What's my part? What do I do to facilitate or participate in the destruction of this system that has just bogged us down for our whole lives? It's get your money into metal. That is the biggest and easiest thing you could do. Because what else could you do? What else could you do that's even remotely close to that? Nothing. And it's so easy, especially if you have a retirement account. That's why I created Gold Quiz. That's why I created Phil Silver, to help people not only help themselves by protecting their assets, but also to accelerate the downfall of the cabal. So if you haven't yet, we broke a record with how many rollovers we had in the last 30 days or 60 days. I can't remember what the exact dates were, but we broke another record. It seems like we're breaking a record every couple months. That was the most rollovers that we had since the inception of Gold Quiz at the end of 2022. So almost in 2 years now, just the last month was the biggest that we've ever done. So congratulations to all of you that have rolled over. I know you've had great experiences with the experts at Gold Quiz. I actually get a lot of thank you emails quite regularly, and messages on Telegram and on Messenger and all over the place, really. So I know you guys have had really good experiences with them. They are the utmost professional team that you'll ever meet when it comes to this type of stuff. So I'm really happy to be partners with them. And when you go through the Gold Quiz, you will have options. Depending on what your answers are, you'll have options. You'll be directed to the company that fits you best based on what your answers are. So get over to goldquiz.com if you have. Here's somebody said, Phil, I listened a long time ago, and I ended up with Goldco. I'm up $83,000. Wow. $83,000. And that's the boom hasn't even happened yet. We're at $30 for silver. Gold is up a lot as well, but we're at $30 for silver. Somebody's saying right here in the chat, look where silver is on the US tech clock. It's at $235 an ounce. Imagine if you went up $80,000 in profit since rolling over your 401k, IRA, or whatever retirement account you have. If you've gone up 80,000 and the price is only $30 spot, can you imagine what you would be at if the US debt clock is right at $235 an ounce? 10 times that, you beat up $800,000. And for those of you that don't like money, don't participate. I don't know what to tell you. Don't participate. For those of you that can't participate, don't. But for those of you that could, get your ass over to goldquiz.com. Take the quiz. It takes 30 seconds. Takes another 30 seconds to send up. We did very well. They gave us $9,000 in free silver for switching. There are promotions that are being run right now. I know that one promotion, and I guess that's still ongoing, was up to $10,000 in free silver just for rolling over a qualified account. So I'm up $42,000 in less than a year. I moved my 403B. We are up $125,000, 58,000 to 82,000 since October. Wow. I'm glad this makes me almost want to tear up. I mean, I'm up over $100,000. Wahoo! Thanks, Phil, and thanks, Goldco. We're up $105,000 in a year. Guys, this is a real deal. I mean, these are your fellow patriots. These are people that you see in the chat rooms. These are people that you see in the comments. Just go read the comments. They're right over there. I'm reading the Rumble comments, but just go read the comments. If you think I'm just like making these comments up to get you to sign up, I'm not. Up 40% with Goldco. I'm up $60,000 less than a year. It's great. What does my shirt say? We the people? We the people, 1776. And obviously, the more you rolled over, the more you'll be up. Some people are up 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand. Others are up over 100 grand. The more you roll over, the better. The writing's on the wall, guys. I mean, I don't know how. I sat here for 3 years begging and pleading you guys to do this. And I created streamlined ways to help you protect your wealth and profit. And if you haven't done it, I mean, not much more I could do, but these companies the links are down below in the Rumble video. Let's go. Let's accelerate the cabal's downfall. When you have your money in metal and not in a dollar or whatever your country's currency is, that hurts the central banking system. And the central banking system is the way that the cabal controls us. We are slaves to them because of the central banking system. The Federal Reserve, Central Bank of Europe, Central Bank of Canada, Central Bank of India, all of these central banks all around the world control our lives. And if you get your money out of there and put it into metals, and then Trump announces that the United States will have a metals-backed currency, whatever it may be. BRICS, as I announced a couple months ago, rainbow currency as part of NESARA. I think what's happening now is we're starting to see what's happening. NESARA and BRICS are kind of merging together to form this new currency plan, this new global economic system that I don't think, before BRICS, pre-BRICS, I don't think that was ever an idea. But now that BRICS has the foundation and the NESARA idea has always been there and the metal-backed securities has always been there, metal-backed currency, I should say, those two coming together and forming a worldwide currency, which is backed by metal, that is going to be the route that this goes, I believe. So that's really good for us because when that happens, to the moon. Fireworks. Those are fireworks. That's what I did with my fingers. When I did that, those were supposed to be fireworks. Sorry about my voice. Are you the same Phil pushing QFS on Facebook? No, I am not. There are a lot of people that pretend to be me. A lot. I do not push QFS or cryptocurrency or any of that. In fact, I was going to announce this a couple weeks ago, but I'm just going to talk about it now, and then I'll tell you more about it once I'm ready. I have an app. I've created an app. You're going to be able to download the app to your phone. All of my stuff is on the app and on the app only. If it's not on the app, it is not my stuff. I'm sick of people getting scammed by these people, that pretend to be me. I talked to a guy, I think it was through Messenger a couple months ago. He lost $8,000 because he thought he was talking to me and he put it into crypto and he gave his crypto password away. I mean, really dumb thing to do. But if you think you're talking to me and you trust me, yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. So I created an app and all of my everything will be through the app. If you're ever sure or unsure about whether you're talking to me or not talking to me or what platform I am on or which one I'm not on, it's going to be through the app. So JFK movie, a lot of people asking about that here in the chat. Might as well comment on that real quick. Imminent, should be any day now. Just waiting for my film crew to give me the final go ahead. The last I saw, there was about an hour worth of video, 45 minutes to an hour, I can't remember, worth of completion. And it was probably about half complete. And that was a good couple weeks ago. So this is rounding up. I think we're going to have that ready. You guys are going to love this. I'm telling you, it's the greatest documentary about JFK that I've ever seen. And obviously I'm biased because I did it, but it is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It is going to blow everything you've ever seen out of the water. It may be the greatest documentary ever made on any topic, let alone JFK, but certainly the best one ever made on JFK. You guys are going to love it. Love it. It cost me a lot of money to do. A lot. I put way too much into this. And I'm going to be charging for the film. It's not going to be free. You're going to be able to download it, you know, by paying a certain amount. We're still going back and forth on that amount right now. But that'll be out soon. And I highly encourage watching this because it is going to change the way you view everything about the cabal, John F. Kennedy, the assassination, the CIA, and everything you think you knew about that day and since. All right, so the debate. I want to start with that. That was the most jaw-dropping, eye-opening performance that I've ever seen. And I'm not talking about Trump. That man, whoever he may be, that is playing the role of Joe Biden, did his very best to show every person that may still be asleep out there why you should not vote for him. It was such it was a catastrophe. So much so that the left-wing media outlets, the mainstream media outlets, we're talking CNN, we're talking, you know, the big guys, even Democrats, prominent Democrats, elected Democrats, the New York Times was another one, big time left-wing. They're calling for this man to step down. Not to not run, to step down from the presidency. Disaster for the Democrats. Absolutely a full-blown catastrophe. What I really, really liked about that debate, and you could, if you've been following me for a long time, especially of the last 6 months or last maybe 12 months at the most, I've been saying that the humiliation phase of Joe Biden and his administration is forthcoming. And it started with, you know, and Trump talked about it in the debate, with the withdrawal from Afghanistan and the people that were lost in that withdrawal and the equipment that was lost and all of that stuff. But they really took it to another level when Joe Biden, when it is announced that American troops died in that withdrawal, and then Joe Biden says no one died, that is a slap to the face of every soldier who has ever served, who is currently serving, and certainly a slap to the families of those soldiers. I mean, that is just so, how could the president of the United States not know every last detail about those soldiers that reportedly died? How could you not know? That would have been a great moment. If this were a true campaign and not just a show, that would have been a great moment for Joe Biden to come out and say, yes, we are aware of those people who died in Afghanistan, and then just like list their names. Boom, 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 like right on top of it. You know what I mean? And then gather up the anti-Trump folks and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? But instead he said, no one died. You know why he said that? Because that whole debate and the future things that are about to happen are designed to pull back that 30% or so, roughly, of straight Democrats who will vote for Democrats no matter who the nominee is. We want to rip that 30% down the best we could in the time that we have left before the ball drops. What you saw in that debate was nothing but a scripted act by both Trump and Biden. Now, Biden did his best to look, sound, and move like an absolute paraplegic. Like, I'm not, no fun being made against paraplegic, but he looked like he wasn't healthy. He looked like he wasn't limber. He looked like he had no cognitive ability whatsoever, physically and mentally. Disaster. On the other hand, and this is how you could kind of tell that you're watching a scripted movie, Donald Trump let him talk. When was the last debate, interview, or anything that you ever saw Donald Trump let the other person talk and make a fool out of themselves? Never. Didn't do it with Hillary, didn't do it with Biden in the last election. Never. Trump always needs to put himself in the speaking position. He will interrupt you. He will go off on tangents just to make sure that he still has the floor. He has to be the man in control of the room. He has to be. In an interview format, that is. In this case, nope. You saw him over there with a little smirk time to time. Hardly at all did he even do a little smirk. A couple times he did, a couple times he didn't. But for the most part, he stood there and he let this guy talk. And that's all he had to do. And I'll tell you, there were so many people that are those strong lifetime Democrats. They're not going to vote for this guy. They're not going to do it. So what does that matter if this is all a movie? It doesn't really matter, right? Because I've been saying for a long time, I can't see a way that there actually is going to be an election in November. I still don't believe there's going to be an election in November. All of the information that I have been given leading up to today points to no election in November and a huge event happening before November. That event, whatever it may be, however they're going to do this, that event has been, in my opinion, and I think you would probably agree with me, it's been very evident that they're setting things up for that event. You could see how everything is falling into place, right? You see the Trump being convicted of 37 felonies or whatever it is in one case. 2 weeks later, you see Trump getting immunity, presidential immunity, for presidential acts that he's done while in office. Now, obviously, his convictions, that doesn't fall under presidential acts. You know, this whole Stormy Daniels thing, that wasn't presidential acts. But that case is dead on appeal anyway. It's completely dead on appeal. If it were to actually go through the court system and whatever. But what they're going to do is they're going to use those convictions to try to throw Trump in jail on the heels of the Supreme Court saying, yeah, you guys got to stop this stuff. That's basically what they said. I don't know if you've read the opinions. I have. If you've read the actual opinions of the Supreme Court justices and what they said specifically, not just the vote, not just how it voted down, but actually what they said. You go back and read that, and you're going to see that Donald Trump not only had the ability to do everything he did while in office, but other things as well, including the presidential emergency action documents. By putting our country into a military law, military rule, by putting our country into that trajectory, today's Supreme Court ruling actually gives Trump the ability, not only did he have the ability, but the unprosecutable nature by conducting that particular instruction. So when it comes out soon that we are under military law and we have been under a continuity of government since Trump declared it in January of 2021, when it comes out that that happened, there is no recourse that anyone could take against Trump for doing that. That's what today's ruling was all about. Everybody thinks, oh, well, the ruling's about, you know, the Bragg case or the Jack Smith case or whatever. Yeah, no. The ruling today was to protect Trump from any sort of Justice Department coming after him for announcing or putting into effect the military law and order that we're now under. So that's what this was. They disguised it well by saying, oh, well, he has these other cases. So, but really, if you read the opinions and you in your mind while you're reading the opinions and you try to apply them to military law, continuity of government, devolution, all of that stuff that we talked about in the past, it's exactly what the opinion was all about. It was completely centered around that. So that announcement of the PED and the announcement of continuity of government and the announcement of the conclusion of how this ends it's now right around the corner. And that's what I meant when I said all of these things leading up to the big event, to the big, you know, the major boom. There's many others too, but another one, I don't know if you guys know Clay Clark. He's been doing these tours. I went to a couple of them. I went to one in Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in 2021. I went to another one in Tampa, Florida in 2022. And Clay has these events where he calls it the reawakening tour. General Flynn goes, Lynn Wood went to a couple. Lynn Wood was amazing in Tulsa. I'll never forget that speech. A lot of doctors talking about COVID, you know, stuff like that. And he calls it the reawakening tour because we need to wake up. You know, he wants to have these events and have all these speakers come so people could wake up to what's actually going on. And I think he's done a great job actually in informing and educating everybody. Clay Clark was the one with the billboards, not the billboard, but the whiteboard with all the names on it. My name was on there, if you guys remember. That was actually from Tulsa. That was the one that I was at. I see the comments. Clay is a Freemason. I don't trust Clay Clark. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I mean, you have the right to think that. Clay Clark is a grifter. Well, if Clay Clark's a grifter, then so am I. You know, yeah, he makes money on the tour, but he's putting a lot of time and effort in the tour. So, and I have seen nothing that shows Clay Clark as a Freemason. Sorry, I just don't buy that at all. I think what's happening is a lot of good people are trying to be brought down by the deep state. So they'll put out these fake stories and this fake information about a good person. Oh, he's a Freemason. Look, they tried to do it to Stu Peters too. You know, Stu Peters was seen doing the Illuminati symbol or something, the circle on his eye or something like that. They're like, oh, well, he's a Freemason. Or he's part of Illuminati or whatever. It's not true. You may not like Clay Clark, and that's okay if you don't like him, but to think that he's deep state going around doing these tours, it just doesn't make sense, really. I don't buy into that, and I have absolutely no intel that has ever told me about that whatsoever. Anyway, doing those tours that he's been doing, I think he's waking up a lot of people. The speakers at the tours are good. Mike Lindell is at every one of them. General Flynn's been at many of them. Lynn Wood's been at many of them. A lot of doctors in regards to COVID, telling the truth about what actually happened with COVID, how it happened, why it happened, who did it, and everything. I think it was a great thing. One thing that I noticed, though, and again, right around the same time of the debate, the Supreme Court decision, all of these things happening all at once, the Reawakening tour is now over. Wow. Wow, it's over? Why? We don't want to do anymore? What? It's over because we no longer need it. We did what we had to do. We woke up the people that we had to wake up. Those that are still asleep, sorry. It's just, you don't like our country, get out of it, but this is what it is. And if you try to start something and you try to, riot the streets like they did back there, just, it's just going to be very swift, very simple, and very strategic, to get those people out quickly. It's all just coming to a head. This is what we thought about for a long time. Now, the title of my live tonight was The Return. I wouldn't have titled the live The Return just because it's my return. It's not like I've gone anywhere. And by the way, for those of you wondering, I'm not going anywhere. I'm super healthy. I'm super happy. I have overcome so many obstacles in regards to defamatory everything that's been said about me, the liars and the dirtbags that have said so many things about me publicly. I've gone after them in a court of law. There's another big one that I'm going after pretty soon. We're just awaiting a subpoena, and as soon as we get that, we're going to file. I've been through so much because I've been doing all of this for all of these years, and I've obviously climbed the charts when it comes to podcasters, especially on the East Coast, and the number one podcaster on the East Coast. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, all these people, Scranton Times with their article, journalist Chris Kelly, Nick Alvear with his illegal and defamatory stuff, all of the trolls and the hate groups and everything, they took their best shot at me, and I'm standing firm. And I have not gone down, and I will not go down. Regardless of whoever tells you what, I've done nothing illegal. And whoever tells you, oh, well, he's good. Okay, well, there has to be a crime. And I've done none of that. I have teams of attorneys that keep me nice and clean in regards to everything. In regards to income, in regards to taxes, in regards to the words that I can or cannot say and why. Squeaky clean. There's nothing that could be done at all. That wouldn't be illegal anyway. I'm not saying somebody can't illegally arrest me or illegally do something kind of like they did to Trump, or charge me with something kind of like they did to Trump, but just, that's not going to be happening. I have protection in regards to that too. So I'm going to be here for a very long time. You may see truthers fall off, never to be heard of again. That's not me. I'm not going anywhere. There may be some breaks like this where you don't see me for a couple weeks at certain times of the year, whether it's around a holiday or a personal time, like the one that I just described in June that just happened. But for the most part, other than that, I'm not going anywhere. I'm with you guys both before the election fraud, after the election fraud, and into and after the next Trump administration. Not going anywhere. I have, for those of you that don't know me and maybe are just, tuning into me for the first time, or maybe, the second, third, fourth time, whatever, I have a really good source that I get intelligence information from in regards to the things that I talk about on my live streams. Sometimes I'm not able to talk about certain things even though I know them. Other times I'm able to talk about them, but only in a roundabout way, an indirect way. We call them comms sometimes. But I have a really good source. It's the only source anyone would ever need. Somebody asked over in the chat, what about Mike Gill? Should we believe him? Michelle Moore? And they're asking basically, is General Flynn bad? I have seen still nothing to this day that shows me General Flynn is bad. I don't care what flapping gums say. Okay, whether it's Mike Gill, Michelle Moore, whoever, on the Flynn topic, no one has shown me anything other than their mouth moving as to why Flynn is bad. Not a document, not a text message, not an email, not a phone call, a recorded phone call, zero. And you know what? You haven't seen that either. The only thing you've seen in regards to these people saying Flynn is bad is flapping gums. That's it. You haven't seen any evidence whatsoever that Flynn has done anything. In fact, the only thing that you have seen is the opposite of that. You've seen President Donald Trump support General Flynn, not only appoint him to the head of the NSA during Trump's first term, but also pardon him after he got the fake charges built up against him. He was charged with treason. Trump pardoned him. In a recent, I think it was at the RNC or the CPAC or whatever it was, Flynn was there in the audience. Trump called him out. Trump said, General Flynn, stay healthy and be ready. What the hell does that mean? I've been saying for 4 years that General Flynn will be vice president. And then I got information a couple months ago that said he won't. I don't know if that's changed or not changed. But I don't buy into any of the Flynn stuff. Never have. The only evidence that I see is the opposite of what Mike Gill is saying. I see none of that. Just like there's truthers out there that come on in front of a microphone, in front of a camera, and tell you what's happening behind the scenes because of things that they know, or people that they know, a source that they know. There's also people out there that are hired to give disinformation to get you away from a certain person. For example, let's say, just for example, this is not, I have no evidence of this whatsoever, but this is just an example. Let's say there's a guy named Mark Gill. And Mark Gill is hired by some radical left group or whatever. Troll on locals? Wow, that doesn't happen very often. I'll get to that. Mark Gill was hired by somebody on the cabal's side. Maybe it's a political company, maybe it's something to do with that, to say all of these bad things about Flynn. And when Trump announces Flynn as the vice president, so many people back off of Trump. Ever think of that? You ever think that some of these guys, like a Mark Gill, might actually be there to take you away, take your mind away from what's actually happening and plant this psyop of information to keep your support away from Trump, or to take your support away from Trump because Trump sides with Flynn. Be careful, guys. I'm telling you, the disinformation and the misinformation that's out there is rampant. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy how much there is. There is a war going on for your mind. They want your mind. Have I been working out? My arms look great? No, but thank you. Do they? Wow, look at that. They do. Oh, yeah. I got a little too carried away with that one. I swear somebody said that in the chat. They've said that. Have you been working out? No. Realistically, I have good muscle tone throughout my body. I don't work out though. If I did, I would be pretty put together, but I don't. Honestly, I just don't have time for it, really. My day is completely like, I just don't have time to commit to something like that. But I think, for 41 now, I think I'm in pretty good health, both mentally and physically. I know I'm in physical good health because I had a full workup done. Whew, that was intense. But yeah, I got, there's nothing wrong with me physically whatsoever. They told me I'm going to live probably well into my 80s, maybe even to 90. Mark Gill is just a synonym for another one that you might know. Now, I'm not saying Mike Gill did any of that. I have no idea if he did or didn't. It would be too hard for me to find out, even if I wanted to find out. But what I'm saying is, it's just that simple. One guy gets an audience and starts to spew out all of these scripted accusations towards another to just distract you and to get your support somehow taken away from Trump. So it's very possible. Julian Assange. Wanted to talk about Julian Assange tonight too. Julian Assange is free, and boy, does that have the deep state and the cabal rattled. Julian Assange has so many direct evidence pieces to tie up the US government for decades. He has so much. And the reason why he stayed in jail for as long as he did was because he wouldn't give up that information. He has it, he's had it, and he's like, no, I'll stay here. I'm going to hang on to this stuff. I'll eventually get out, and I'm going to expose it. And obviously, while he was in jail, he couldn't do that. And there was a timing that this had to happen in. And again, we talked about this earlier in tonight's live. So many things are happening all at the same time to show you that this is real. What we've been talking about for years is real. Do you think that it's a coincidence that, I mean, you got to believe in coincidences if you think all of these things are coincidences all happening at the same time. Julian Assange, who's been in jail for years, is suddenly released at the end of June of 2024 at the same time that Trump's going through all this and the election's coming, and you got the debate thing going on, and you got the Supreme Court announcement going on, you got all this stuff happening, right? So now suddenly Julian Assange is released. Coincidence, right? That it's happening all at the same time. Couldn't have been at any other time, right? It has to be right now. There is a tsunami of truth coming. And boy, I can't wait. I can't wait till it comes. Not because I want to sit here and be like, ha ha ha, told you so. Although I probably will do a lot of that. But because we deserve it. We deserve it. What do I say about Ariel? Not much. Ariel is just a normal guy that lives down in Florida. Looked him up, found his name, found his address. There ain't nothing special about, not like from a military intelligence point of view. I see that he has some good opinions on things, but nothing that is profound. Nothing that I would consider intel, but good opinions. He's good opinions on stuff. Said some really nasty things about me, unprovoked. I think he thinks that he has more power than what he does in terms of like the truther movement or the podcasting movement. His line that I remember, it's the only thing that I remember that he ever said was, "Oh, well, now you got my attention, Phil Godlewski, so I'm going to have to destroy your channel too." Yep, he said that. But yet, here I stand, and I have 31 million watching right now. So, swing and a miss, No one cares if Michael Jackson's alive. I think a lot of people care about that, actually. Myself included. I think it would be very important if Michael Jackson were alive for various reasons, actually. But we'll get into that another time. I want to comment about the Brunson cases. The Brunson cases right now are... It's almost like the Supreme Court took the Brunson cases and just threw them over there. And they just kind of landed randomly, like on the floor. And they're just sitting over there. They're not in any kind of jurisdictional... They're like in purgatory. Like they're a ghost. They're not quite in heaven, but they can't go to hell. They're just in purgatory on earth. And I actually went and looked back to see how many cases historically have gotten that type of treatment, and there were none. When a case comes to the court, the Supreme Court, they first have to decide if they're going to hear it. They don't have to hear any case that's brought to them. It's up to them what they hear and not hear. They decided to hear the Brunson case, but it's not over yet. It's just kind of lingering out there in like space in this purgatory. You're seeing 52K. Somebody just mentioned that. You're seeing 52K watching on Rumble because that's the people that are signed into Rumble. Like in order to chat over there on the right-hand side of the screen, you have to have an account. You have to be signed into the account, right? If you're not signed into an account, you can't leave a comment there in the comment section on Rumble. It won't let you. It'll tell you have to sign in first. So the 52,000 you see on Rumble are only people that are signed in that are able to do commenting like that on the right side. There are many millions that don't have accounts on Rumble. They don't trust giving their information out. That doesn't surprise me at all. Why would you trust anybody at this point, right? Especially with everything we've been through. But many, many millions of people across multiple platforms, not just Rumble, but Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, even DLive, and this also doesn't account for Q. You don't see the Q viewers. I do. You don't. So when you take all those platforms that I'm simulcasting to, simulcasting means you are broadcasting to multiple platforms all at the same time. I have a program that takes all of that information, puts it into one relay basically, and it also sees the people that are watching that are not registered. So that's why there's always a difference between what you see and the numbers that I say. I'm seeing all of the viewers that have eyes on me right now. You're only seeing the registered viewers on each platform. Steve Bannon going to jail. Talk about that real quick too. A lot of stuff happened since our last live, so we're kind of trying to push this all into a live stream here. Steve Bannon, I don't think is going to serve a single day in jail. This is yet another example of misjustice as part of the movie. Sarah Hops, there you are. I'll get to that in 1 second, Sarah. But just another subplot to the greater overall plot of what's happening here. I don't believe Steve Bannon goes to jail at all. I think that the event that we're waiting for happens before then, and Bannon is cleared of any wrongdoing and never spends a day in jail. So I know what they're reporting, but the timeline that I have indicates that Bannon will be in the clear before he has to report and do any jail time. That's something that could change, but I don't see it changing. Phil, you mentioned why you were going to, or you mentioned you were going to explain why the title is The Return. Can you explain? So it's not about my return. That would be stupid. A lot of people think it's about the return of Trump, right? That would be where your mind goes. It's what I've been reading here in the comments. But no, it's about the return of someone else. Unfortunately, that's all I could say about that. But you are about to get some big news. Someone that's been gone is coming back. And I think we're going to like it. I think we're going to like it. That's all I could say on the topic, but when you see it happen, you'll know. You'll think of me. And trust me, I'm going to take a screenshot of this live stream and I'm going to brag about it. So let me get that Sarah Hops question. You said end comms tonight before your live. Were you referencing those comms from January 14th? Yes. That was an easy one. Yes, I was. I'm not really going to do a Q&A tonight, but there's a couple ones here. Let me just get those. Mike Pompeo bad? No, Mike Pompeo's been serving with Donald Trump, not only throughout his term during 2016, but afterwards and to this day. Anybody that tells you something bad about Pompeo is just not in the know. That's all there is. McAfee has 31 terabytes of info. Will we see Dead Man Switch? I don't think we're going to see Dead Man Switch. I think Dead Man Switch and the whole notion of Dead Man Switch was to get our attention on what McAfee had. Obviously, we never saw any of that data come out, but he did have it. So it's out there. And the deep state actually did many things to prevent it from coming out. And I don't know if they were successful or not, but regardless of whether they were successful or not, the bottom line is it didn't come out, but it will. So I don't think we're going to see a Dead Man Switch along those lines, but we got all that information. There were also some Jeffrey Epstein files released today. I didn't read them yet, so I don't want to comment too much on them, but I know they were unsealed. I think it was from his original case in Florida. I'm not sure. I have to look into that. But I will. I'll look into that. We'll report on it probably in the next live. What else did I want to talk about tonight? Man, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about tonight, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, there's going to be this frenzy about a new pandemic that comes up and what we could do to blah, 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 blah. And they're so desperate. Anybody that falls for the new pandemic thing, you're bonkers at this point. You're not all there. Okay. So it's already starting to come out. They're already starting to broadcast some stuff about how there's going to be this new pandemic and blah, 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 and oh, there's cases reported over here, over there, over there. Look, the best thing I could tell you is we've already been through this one time. If you're going to fall for that malarkey, I don't know how to save you from yourself. You know, we've lived through this. Are you really going to fall for it a second time? You know, it's just at this point, you have to ask yourself, are you being fooled or are you allowing yourself to be fooled? I think there's a big distinction there, right? I partnered with this company and I've talked about them in past live streams. And again, this is kind of the General Flynn treatment in some aspects. It's called the Wellness Company. The Wellness Company has been bashed and torn down by so many different, oh, their owner's cabal, their owners are Freemason. Here we go again. You know, Clay Clark's a Freemason, Flynn's a Freemason, everybody's a Freemason because the cabal puts out this script that they want you to hear because they don't want you to use these people. They don't want you to listen to these people. They don't want you to listen to me. That's clear. They don't want you to listen to Flynn. They don't want you to support Flynn. They don't want you to support Clay Clark. The Wellness Company is another one. In regards to this new pandemic, the Wellness Company has all of those medicines that we were trying to get for COVID available on their website. Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pack, they have all of it on their website, TWC, the Wellness Company, twc.health/Phil. All of the medicine is there. It's all you need. All the stuff that your regular doctor probably won't subscribe to you because he's probably a cabal doctor. twc.health/Phil. My pantry's stacked at all times with their stuff. Gut Cleanse is another one. Gut Cleanse, Dr. Gudry, excuse me, came up with this brand new protocol to take your body from an unhealthy status to a healthy status. We've all been unhealthy for the longest time. It's because of sugar. It's because of this, because of that. Everybody tries to point to different things, right? The Wellness Company went ahead. Dr. Gudry went out and he did all this research and he pinpointed the exact reason why we are so unhealthy. And they got a lot of great informational videos on their website, gutcleanseprotocol.com/Phil. Check that out. I'm telling you, you won't be sorry that you read it. And in regards to this, all this new pandemic stuff, that's what we're talking about. Like, we have the resources now to protect ourselves from their bullshit. We don't have to rely upon our doctors anymore to give us, you know, these drugs that they're not authorized to give us because there's some sort of mandate somewhere that says that they can't. We have the drugs available. twc.health/Phil. We have the protocols that you should use in your daily diet available. gutcleanseprotocol.com/Phil. We have all that stuff. So no matter what they do with the next pandemic, ooh, scary word, pandemic. You know why there won't be a pandemic? Because if an actual pandemic, you know what happens in pandemics? One thing happens in pandemics. One thing only happens in pandemics. That's it. Nothing else happens. And because of this one thing, it's the only thing that matters. One thing and one thing only. Death. People die. Everyone dies. And you can't avoid it. Death, 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 all over the place. Death. Yet in 2020, with the pandemic, the deaths actually, year by year, decreased. Do you know that? They decreased. Even though we had this global pandemic, the total deaths worldwide went down in numbers compared to years prior. But we had this big global pandemic. Death happens in pandemics. And you know why they won't risk that? Because they, the cabal, may die too. And they don't want that. They don't want to die. They want to live forever. Some of them have been living forever. They have those medical secrets and that medical technology to live for probably ever. Last thing I want to say tonight, and I'm not going to get into detail, but it will be the precursor to my next live and my lives next week as well. Oh, by the way, before I say it, please follow my channel on Rumble, completely free. You just have to have an account. We're just short of 200,000 followers. We just need a few thousand more, I think. Please hit that green follow button. You will have to have an account on Rumble. So the people that I was talking to before that just watch without an account, you're obviously not going to be able to follow unless you sign up. I would appreciate it if you signed up. But please follow my account. And also, once you are following, hit that thumbs up button. It helps the algorithm. I don't make money on that. I make money on the views that I have, but I don't make money on the likes or anything like that. It just helps with the algorithm to spread the video around Rumble's platform in the trending sections, in the popular sections, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, one more thing I want to talk about tonight, and it'll be the precursor leading into either my next live on Friday or the lives next week, depending on when the timing of this goes down. But last words for tonight. And I think you should try to, it's not really a decode, but try to tie this to something. Because when it happens, you'll know, you'll think of me immediately. You might also think of Q. But last thing I'll leave you with tonight, heart attacks can be deadly. Love you guys. See you Friday night.